Today, let's use vision transformers in order to do image classification. I will not do the theoretical part, there are a lot of tutorials, just the practical part. So this will be our test image, this basketball, and after the coding process, we will learn how to classify this image as a basketball. So let's start with the installation part. So we start the installation with creating and generating a new Conda environment, and I will leave a link for this instruction file named install.txt. It will be part of the video description. Also, you can use this link for more tutorials about vision, language, model, tutorials and projects. You can see more of my project in this area. You are also welcome to subscribe to my channel. More videos will be uploaded soon. So let's start with opening an Anaconda command prompt. So this would be our command prompt, and first of all we have to create a Conda environment. So you can copy and paste. Let's type it Conda create -n, it's the name, and let's name it ViT. ViT is a visual transformers, and it will be based on Python 3.11. Great. Let's activate this new environment, Conda activate ViT. And now, as you can see here, our current environment is ViT, and now we are ready to install more Python libraries. Next, now we have to install a PyTorch. I decided to install a 2.5.0, but first of all you have to find your CUDA environment. So this is the command nvcc to find your CUDA environment. If you don't have a CUDA or GPU card, you can also run it on CPU. It will run slower, but it will work. But as for now, nvcc --version, as you can see, mine is 12.6. That means that I have to install any version that is below this value. So let's go to our browser, and we will type PyTorch, and let's go to the PyTorch website. And if you go here, you can see this is the instructions how to install the last version 2.6, but I prefer to install a previous one, so I will click here, previous versions. And as you can see here, this is a version 2.5.1, and I checked everything on 2.5.0, so I prefer to run this version. And here you can see how this version is suitable for your CUDA environment. So if I have a CUDA 12.6, I should install this version. This version is for 12.4, means that it supported this version, but it will be good enough for 12.6. So this is the command for installing PyTorch 2.5.0 under CUDA, and this is the command if you don't have a GPU card. If you have only CPU, this is the command for installing the same version for a CPU environment. I already copied this command. Let's go back. I will copy it to our instruction file. You can see this is the command. So let's copy this command. Let's go back to the command prompt and let's run. Great. So we finished install PyTorch. Let's go to the next step. And the next step is installing transformers. So I'm using this version 4.46.2. If you would like to get an identical results, I recommend you to install the same version. I wrote here a warning. If you get an error during this command, you can, this type of error, you can type that command for installing the transformers, and then it will install the last version. This is if only you have problems with the pip install, the standard pip install. But as for now, let's install this command and let's continue to the next step. So now we are installing transformers 4.46.2. As you can see, we have an error here. The error is for the sympy Python library. So it requires, the PyTorch requires 1.13.1 and I have 1.13.3. So let's see, first of all, pip show sympy. As you can see, he's right. I have 1.13.3. So let's reinstall it. Pip install sympy equal 1.13.1. And let's copy the command and let's add it here before the transformers for the next time. So let's go back and let's run it. It will uninstall the 1.13.3 and install instead the 1.13.1. As you can see, now it's uninstalling. Let's wait a few more seconds. Great. And now once again, let's install the transformers. I hope that now it will finish successfully. Great. Let's see what next. So we finish this one, and now let's install OpenCV once again for this specific version. Let's wait a few more seconds. Great. So we finished this part of the installation and now we are ready for the coding part. So before we go for the coding, don't forget to change on your VS Code your current environment. Since we created a new environment named ViT, we have to change it inside the VS Code. So we will click Ctrl Shift and P. Then we will choose Select Interpreter. And now I am looking for the ViT. Here is the ViT. This is the one that we just created. You can see this list is all the Conda environment exist on my local machine. Now I will choose the ViT as my current Conda environment, and it will contain the specific Python 3.11 and all what I've installed so far. So now we are ready to continue to the next step, which is the coding. So let's start with the coding. First of all, let's see our test image. As you can see, it's a basketball image, so we are expecting to classify a basketball as a result. Let's create a new Python file. Let's name it image classification using transformers. Great. Now we will import the OpenCV Python library, and then we will define a path for our image, for our input image. I prefer to change the slashes since I'm working on Windows, and then we are loading the image using OpenCV. And after that, since it's a very big image, a large dimension, I will resize it by a 20% from its original image. So we will grab the width of the original image and divide it by the scale and do it the same for the height, and then we will resize the image and put the result into the image variable, and then only displaying the image using the ImShow function. Basically it's a straightforward OpenCV image display, and this is our basketball image. So now let's go to the fun part. First of all, we need to convert the image from BGR, which is an OpenCV format, to an RGB, because it is required for the visual transformers processing. So we will use the CVT color function and update our variable into an RGB. Then we will import the necessary modules from Hugging Face Transformers library. So we'll import the ViT image processor and the ViT for image classification. Now we are loading the ViT image processing in order to preprocess our image. So we convert it to the relevant arguments for our model. And this would be our model, ViT base PETS 16224. So this will be our classification transformer model. Next we are defining our model with the same name, and now we need to reprocess our image. So we will use the image processor and we will send our RGB image into this function. I prefer to change the name. Let's change it to RGB_IMG, since I would like to store our original variable. And the return tensor will be PT, since we are using PyTorch. Next we are sending the arguments, the parameters, into our model and grabs the result. Now let's first of all display the predicted class ID, and let's also get the predicted label. So the first value will be a number and the second value will be the label, meaning basketball. So let's run it and see the result. We are expecting to see a result of a basketball using our classification. On the first run, you need to download all the relevant weights. It will be a one-time download, so let's wait a few more seconds, and after that we are expecting to see the result, the predicted label, basketball. Great, as you can see we got the result. So let's move to the next phase and display the result on our original image. So first of all, let's define our font. It will be font Hershey Simplex. Next the scale, and now let's choose a color. Let's choose a green color. So only the 255 is for the green. The thickness of the font will be 2, and then we will use the putText function in order to put our predicted text into the image in position 50 by 50. I believe that's it. Let's run it. Great, as you can see, basketball in green text. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. More tutorials will be uploaded soon. Thank you very much.